So it's been 1 full year since I made one of my very first fish tank videos. This was on my Blue Dream Shrimp Aquarium, and this tank was originally found on the side of the road, but now it is home to hundreds of shrimp, lots of plants, and half the subscribers on this channel came from this fish tank. And to bring this fish tank back to life, I took it to a car wash and power washed it completely clean. Then I gave it a home right here in my living room. I also dug up a beautiful rock with lots of caves in it and went full archaeology mode on it, trying to clean it up so it could be the centerpiece for this tank. After that, I added a few plant trimmings from another tank, as well as a few shrimp, and barely spent any money at all. A few months later, with the addition of a CO2 system, the plant growth completely blew up, and this tank now needed to be trimmed way more frequently. But after a while, I kind of let it go out of control and it became completely overgrown. The taller plants completely covered the surface of the water and wouldn't allow any light to pass through to the moss or to some of the smaller plants at the bottom. This tank also gets a lot of natural light, so that also promotes a lot of growth for the plants. So I thought about retiring the tank, but I decided to give it one last big trim again. And one of the Vallisnera plants in here actually grew to 6 feet tall, which was insanely impressive to me. The shrimp population in here is also overpopulated by a few hundred, but I think that the heavy plant mass in here was able to balance it out. So once I remove these plants, I'll have to come up with a solution for that problem. I also wanted to replant a lot of the trimmings because the plants ditched all their leaves at the bottom of the stem near their roots, so they could have this growth near the surface. So I wanted to keep some of those trimmings in order to replant them and have bushier plants near the bottom. But in order to do that, I had to pull out the plants one by one. But you can see as I trim that the light is starting to be able to get through the tank. Alright, and here's that final trim so that I can add some of the new plant trimmings into the tank. Now I'm going to add as many new plants in here as I can fit, and luckily there was a lot of empty space, so I was able to keep a lot of the plants I trimmed. I'm also adding more plants at the front of the tank, and these will cover up the rock as they grow, so I'll have to trim those a little bit more frequently. Alright, so the job is done and the plants just need a few days to straighten out and they'll look a lot better. Alright, so now that the fish tank took the weekend off, the plants are looking a lot better, and now I can actually see the shrimp, which are a lot more visible now, and there's so many. But the cool thing is that you get to watch their daily activities, which are climbing on the rocks and moss, and you can see a lot of the babies in here too. So I still need to solve a couple problems. One is that the natural light coming in through the window will cause a big algae spike, and the second is that there's not enough plants in here to support the shrimp population. So I found an old filter and plugged in the intake with a sponge so it would be safe for the smaller shrimp. And then I bought 2 big plants. The idea with these is to add them into the filter, and this is an experiment because I'm not sure if these plants can survive in water, but I'm just gonna see what happens. I added a few pieces of filter media along with some lava rock, and this will help the filter do a better job to clean the tank because of the extra surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow in. So when it comes to filters, you don't really want to waste any space. And the lava rocks will also give the roots of the plant something to grow into and anchor down. Alright, so now that the filters are full of water, I'm going to carefully add these plants in here. And again, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to survive with this amount of water every day, but I'm going to give it a shot and hopefully it works out according to plan. So these plants are going to help with 2 things. The first is that they'll use the shrimp waste as fertilizer and help keep the tank clean. And the second is that they will help catch sunlight coming in from the window so it doesn't reach the tank. And to help with that, I'm adding a few more plants by the window, and eventually some of these will reach into the water as well. All right, my job here is finished. I'll let the plants take it away from here, and here's how it turned out. A few days later, the shrimp were doing good. They were walking all over the place, and they had a new round of babies. So the population is still growing, so it's a good thing I added those extra plants. And everything seems to be doing good. The plants are all growing well, and also the plants I added on top of the water are still going strong, so it's a good sign. Thank you for watching.